Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we're talking about Tesla stock and seeing what the heck Elon Musk has planned for us all coming in the future. There was a recent price upgrade on Tesla. Analyst over at UBS was saying, hey everybody, Tesla's going to be an $1,100 stock. So is this time to get in? Is this going to really skyrocket to the moon? And is this something that you're considering, already in, or things of that nature? We're going to get into this. And before we begin, though, my name is Chris. I was a professor for about 10 years. And this is all to help you grow your account and grow your mind. So let me show you this. This is the chart on Tesla. And wow, it's just been getting killed, right? Year to date is down 39%. And I hope if you're out there watching that you didn't buy at 1,200. It is really, really expensive stock. And when I say expensive, I just want to point this out in case you guys don't know. I refer to expensive as being PE ratios, right? Not about stock price. PE ratio is how you define whether a stock is cheap or expensive. Generally speaking, I like to be in things with the PE under 30. This is a P at 98, so it's just not something I'm interested in. Although we will look at a few other things that to think about. Does this deserve a higher multiple? Tesla does not have a dividend, so again, it's not the kind of stock that I'm interested in because it has no dividend, and the P's are really, really high. However, I know it's a very popular stock, and I don't disagree that Tesla is a good company. It is a good company. It's a great company. So the question is, regardless of how good something is, you want to get a good price on it, right? You don't want to overpay for things. Elon Musk also went to my school, University of Pennsylvania, so I do like Elon. I've never met the guy. He's a little bit older than me, so I don't know him personally. I will say, though, that he's acting a little bit erratic lately and just can't keep his hands off Twitter. That's part of his persona. I get it. But if you're a shareholder, you're just like, dude, cut it out, just run your business, etc. But for some people, they're like, dude, I love Elon tweeting all the time and making my stock go up and down like crazy. My other opinion on Tesla and Elon as well is I would be cutting out the Twitter stuff, the Twitter drama, but I think we're kind of deep down that rabbit hole right now. So certainly you got to take these things into consideration when you're in this Tesla. It's more than just a company. You got to consider what's the CEO doing and stuff like that. So here's the different price targets here. You can see UBS is like 1,100, New Street 1,500. That seems pretty fantastical to me. You have, it just is. It's way off. That's the highest one you're going to see. Bernstein at 450. Don't laugh for those of you who are Tesla bulls. It's not that crazy. You also have BNP 600. Daniel Ives is always a bull on tech stocks, and he's like, dude, that's $1,000 stock. So that's the range you have is between, say, 700. I don't know about this one. $24, that might be a misprint, but 700 to say $1,000 is kind of the range that Wall Street thinks this stock is worth, essentially. The one thing though that is concerning, and you always do want to pay attention to this stuff, insiders are selling the stock. So Elon was selling all his stocks last month, and really quite a bit. And this is like, wow, this is a lot. Is that like $2 trillion? Is that no. That'd be billion, not trillion, billion. And then this would be like 925 million. A billion here, a billion there starts to add up. But yeah, he was really dumping a lot of shares. And it's not just him. The CFO just sold 3 days ago. You can see right here. Zachary Kickhorn is probably how it is. Sold about roughly 1.8 million in stock just 3 days ago. So usually when insiders are selling, it's not a great sign, especially the CFO. But you read that how you like. This is sort of, I just want to just present you with data, and you guys got to make up your own decision what you think about this. Now, what would be the case for Tesla deserving to be traded at higher valuations? Well, one, I think it's important to point out, they do have a lot of cash. Really a lot. So their debt to equity ratio is 9.7%. This matters in this market. I wouldn't be involved in companies that have too much debt, especially with interest rates going up. Tesla's debt is $3.4 billion, but look at this. They have like $18 billion in cash and short-term investments on hand. That's a lot. So I'm not sure why they're not paying off their debt. Sometimes debt is managed by your CFO, and it just depends. Like, they may have debt that's 0% interest, fixed rates, or who knows what they got, right? Or they may just have sort of these long-term contracts in place, and there's just you're measuring what's the best way to utilize your cash, essentially, right? So I'm not going to question, why they don't pay off their debt, but they totally could. I'm just saying, they financially they look like they'd be pretty healthy. If you ask the robots what Tesla's worth, you can see here you have a fair value of 518. It's currently at 726, or so 720. Yeah, about 726. So the robots think Tesla's a bit overvalued, about 40% overvalued. But I want to give you some arguments about why you would want to get this. You're looking at a forward PE of 58. For me, that's still a little bit high. And the way you look at PEs is you got to ask yourself, do you think the company is going to grow their earnings greater than essentially 58%? So do you think they can grow about 60% in their earnings, say, in the next year? And what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, in terms of their grades, valuation F, so that's a lot that for a lot of the tech companies are overvalued. Growth A, profitability A plus, right? Momentum is B. You take a look at the growth here, and they actually do grow. So this is why you would want to get Tesla at a higher multiple, right? So year over year, 73% revenue growth is really high, and then projected forward revenue growth is 54%, which is also very high. EBITDA growth 69%. So this is sort of not crazy that you would pay more for this thing, and the question is how much more, and that's the key. Some of the things I want you to understand as well, let's take a look at this, is that they tend to do really, really well in their earnings reports. They Wall Street thinks one thing and they tend to beat. So basically how you read this is the black bars of Wall Street expectations and the light blue bars are the what they come in at. And I mean, he always finds a way to surprise people. One of the reasons or the reasons for the upgrade by UBS, I'll just read the quote here. So basically it says, hold on here. I had it right here. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. Tesla can grow peers with a combination of in-house cell capacity, its lead versus global competitors in using LFP cells, and its high share of directly sourced batteries commodities above all. So if you know what LFP is, please let me know. I didn't take time to look up LFP batteries or whatever, but I'm sure there's people LFP cells, but I'm sure there's people who are much more knowledgeable about me than that. The disadvantage of sort of, or the other thing too is going on with UBS, and I say disadvantages or downgrade was Shanghai factory closed, so they did cut their price a bit, but still 1,100 is totally fine. And basically it was integration in the future, integration of like different production things, so like semiconductors, batteries, and sort of materials, which Elon himself has talked about. So the general gist of it is if Tesla does expand into doing more things, and think of it this way, like Apple makes their own chips now, and I'm telling you, those new Apple chips are fantastic. The M chips, they're really, really good, and it's kind of really killed Intel. And Tesla could do the same theoretically. I wouldn't put it past them that they can make their own chips someday and get their own, maybe buy copper mines for all we know, right? So the other thing too that UBS is, I think they're talking about software integration could be better for them as well. I'm just looking at this. Yeah. So, this is certainly a thing. The the other thing is too is funny. The analyst is like, but do be aware that the risks of Elon and his Twitter and tweets and stuff is a real thing. So, but that's the world that we live in. The other thing too, which is also risks, which I think is worth mentioning. I don't like it when people think Tesla is the only game in town. I mean, it is a very, very competitive industry, right? You got BMW, Mercedes, Porsche, just somewhat more, upper end, and then on the lower end, you have your Fords and your Chevys and your Toyotas and your Hondas, and you also have the Korean makes, right? Hyundai and Kia. There's multiple brands out there that are going to be making EVs in the future. So Tesla definitely has a lead right now. And then also you have China, and I think that's important because I showed you guys the numbers last time we talked about Tesla, but half of all of the essentially sales of Tesla cars are to two places. One is California, and two is China. If China is like economy slowing and they're not buying, plus if the government's pumping up Chinese brands, be it your NIO, your XPeng, your Li Auto, that's going to hurt Tesla, right? And if Elon is out tweeting all the time and supporting Republican things, which is completely fine, he's perfectly fine for doing that. But just do be aware, your constituents who like alternative energy, like green things, tend to be more Democrat, more left leaning, right? So it's not really a great idea to tick off your consumer base. And this is sort of something just, it's real. Evidently, I was reading something that people who like to buy Tesla cars sort of believe in the mission of Tesla, like Elon Musk, et cetera. That's part of the salesmanship of Tesla is him. So, each to their own. I know there's some people who would love what Elon's doing with Twitter and stuff, and you have a right to do that. But I'm just saying, in terms of an investment, do take these things into consideration. I do think there will be increased competition in the future. So that's why I'm not a crazy Tesla bull, mostly just because of competition. And the other thing is sort of the erratic behavior of Elon. So who knows what's going to happen. But UBS says it's $1,100. So I just want to give you some different points of view on this thing. And I believe me, I really understand YouTube. If I wanted to be a massive, huge YouTuber, I would just come out here and just tell you that Tesla is the best company in the world. And it would be, the $5,000 by tomorrow, right? And everyone would click. But I think it's more responsible to tell you guys sort of pros and cons of Tesla and give you more realistic expectations. So I do appreciate y'all watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.